Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Um, in this video, I'll be talking about my visits to UCH, University College Hospital here in Ibadan, as a patient, not as a student, as a patient and not as a student. So let's get into the video, guys. So I remember during UTME period, when I was preparing for my last UTME, because I think I said before that I prepared for a lot of UTMEs before actually a lot of UTMEs A levels before actually getting admission to study medicine in University of Ibadan. So the last UTME that I attended during the UTME period, like while preparing for the UTME, I was studying because then I was extremely serious. I was basically sleeping for 4 hours a day. Like I'll get back home late. I'll get back home around 10. Around 10, yeah, I get up around 10. I'll sleep. I'll wake up around 2 or 1, depending on how tired I am that day. I'll read till morning. In the morning, I'll go out because I have some people. I have some people like members, like part of my class. Then I'll just try to probably tutor as well at that point. So I'll go out the next morning, wait for a while before they actually come around, then I'll take them in class. So then I was sleeping for 4 hours every day. But later on, I realized one of my friends now told me that the standard hour to actually for rest is actually 6 hours, not 4 hours. I was like, 4 hours is the normal one that I assume that is basically the normal time to sleep. So basically, back to the main point, to the story. So I remember then I was in that for like months. So there was a point in time that I realized that when I woke up in the middle of the night, I realized when I was studying, I was trying to study, that I just noticed an headache. I noticed headache. I don't know. I noticed headache, and I was like, oh, this thing will go. I bought paracetamol then. Yeah, I remember I bought paracetamol. The stuff subsidized. I continued my reading. I went back the next day. I continued my daily routine the next day. I got back home the next day. I felt the same headache, but this time it was more stronger. I used paracetamol, but then the paracetamol I use now, before the one I used before was like 2. Then the one I used that time to actually make the pain reduce, actually 3. Then I continued my work. And I noticed that it was the day after that I slept. On waking up, I noticed that my eye was swollen. I was scared because there are a lot of things that can actually cause because a lot of things that can actually cause your eye to be swollen. Number one, you have either it can be brain tumor. That was my eye. That was basically what my mind actually went to straight. It can be brain tumor. It can be an infection. It can be a lot of things. So I was scared. So I was still trying to manage the high. I was just using paracetamol to just subsidize the pain, and I was still continuing my daily work. But then it got to a point that the eye actually swelled up swelling up to an extent that I myself knew, oh. And I was using eye drop. I went to a pharmacy store because normally, if anything happens to you, the first thing you do is go to the pharmacy, not to the hospital. Then, let me say again, so I will not. Basically, that's the first thing you do. So I went to the pharmacy store. I got the eye drop. Then I started using the eye drop. Stopped using subsidized. So the tutorial I was attending, the owner of the tutorial now recommend that I follow him to UCH, just check the eye at the hospital. So I followed him the next day to the hospital. On getting to the hospital, so I had to wait because he had to do. He's a medical student of the University of Ibadan as well. I had to wait for him to be done with his clinical rotation, because basically in the morning they do this clinical rotation where they follow the, like, a set of people, a set of medical students. They basically assign them to certain consultants. So they had to follow the consultant to prep or to attend to a patient. So basically I had to wait for him to be done. When he was done, so he followed me to there's an emergency. We had to go to the emergency department, but then they said they won't answer. So we went to what is, because as a part of the hospital of UCH, that actually you have people from outside. You don't even need to pay at all. Where they check your eye. I think most hospitals usually have that. that department. So where they just check your eye, just basically just for eye clinic. No, no, I can say eye clinic, but there's another eye clinic again. So I think this is basically just eye. It's eye, but then it's more like a community kind of thing. It's not like an actual department in the hospital. So we just bring some doctors together, they attend to patients just free of charge. So I went there. I remember they attended to me very early because it was later I realized the nurse now told me that the reason why they even attended to me early because of the medical center that actually followed me. So I think basically, and the lady was a nurse, so I think basically nurses always tend to favor medical students a bit when they are trying to attend to them or anybody they bring. So I remember so on getting into the office, where the office of the doctor, they brought on a machine. They asked me to open my eyes, and the stuff was basically they will shine light. The machine will basically shine light into your eye, and then I don't know what they do. They check. So the man check. He didn't see anything. Well, like, now that I take me to the eye clinic of the hospital. So getting to the eye clinic of the hospital, I went there. So the man told me that okay, I have to pay. I have to register first before they actually attend to me. Basically, so I went there to go and register. So on getting there, they said I had to pay. Basically, this is the mentality that we all have for public hospitals, especially an hospital like a federal hospital like UCH. I really believe that you don't need to pay, but they said I have to register, and to register I have to pay like 3,000, and I didn't take any money with me when I was going there. So I tried to source out. I didn't even take my ATM when I was going there as well, and the person I followed was already busy. We went to attend the lecture, so I had to just come back home, use my normal paracetamol, and then move on. So the next day I went there with the money, so I registered. After registering, then they asked me to wait. Now I think I got there, like I started waiting there around 2. I was not attended to until around 8:30 or 8. And this was funny thing. If you go to the hospital, you realize a lot of things about life. A lot of people are actually suffering, like a lot of innocent people are actually suffering. Because I remember when I went there, I saw a baby. I saw a baby with a swollen eye. Like, come on, and there was blood. A baby. Like, I don't know. It just made me feel somehow. There's a lot of suffering in this world, and people that are basically don't. And it's basically happening to people that are basically innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. Then that's what it is. That's what life is. So basically, I had to wait. Now while waiting there, because you be on a row. So and the doctors were in a room. They will be in a room where they attend to you and all. So there's someone coming out of the room, and human eye, like the eye of a human being was on this, more like all this dish that they usually use, like all this stainless steel kind of dish stuff. Was there. I think they said they went to wash the eye or something. It was very weird. But then so I was not attending to until like 8:30 p.m. Now on getting there, you are like, oh, what happened to your eye? I told them that I'm having a day carrying out things. Then the first thing the doctor will do is he carried another machine. He didn't carry a machine. He actually used another machine to actually examine my eye again. And at that point in time, the eye was already becoming photosensitive. So as they were shining the light into the eye, it was becoming like way more painful. So I had to. It was painful, and I think the lady doctor that was there, or the lady that was there, I actually noticed and was like, sorry, I'm been all these things. So when we were done with examining the eye with the machine, and then after I pressed, the man started saying, and after I pressing the eye, because I don't understand the reason why he was trying to press the eye, because there isn't a tenderness. You know what that is infection and all that. So the man started pressing the eye. He obviously knew that he was paying me. He was just pressing the eye. Am I being here? He was pressing the eye. I was like, am I being here? Sorry, eh? He was pressing the eye. And then after all the pressing and everything, they couldn't find out what was wrong. So he asked me to follow him to the ophthalmology department of the hospital. So I followed him there around that 8:30. So on getting there, the consultant in charge of the department was not around. So So they wanted to text him that, oh sir, we have a case and all the kind of things. So they said, because they can't call the man. They can't call the man because there's basically an hierarchy in the medical field. You have medical students, you have the interns, and then you have the residents, and then you have the consultant. And you basically must not break the hierarchy. Maybe you will be talking to your consultant anyhow, obviously you definitely suffer for it. So basically they tested the man was like, okay, they should ask him to come the next day. So I left the hospital around 9 p.m. that day. 9 p.m. And the doctor that attended to me was already saying something about, he's a resident doctor. So as a resident doctor, you still have to do some exam before you become a consultant. So he was still saying, I heard him saying with his colleague that, oh, you still have to study this night and all things. So me leaving there around 9 p.m. The man was still there around that 9 p.m. So I went home. Coming back the next day, the man was already around 6. I just wondered that how did the man do that? And he worked almost throughout the entire day at the hospital, at the eye clinic. And you know how stressful it is, because it was like 3 doctors to close to like 200 patients. It was very much. 200 patients or like 300 itself. So it was very much, and I don't know how he did that. He still came back the next morning. He studied. He went to me. He was basically tired. He studied and then came back the next day, 6 a.m. Doctors are actually really trying. You need to appreciate them a lot. They are really trying. There are doctors in Nigeria, especially, because the stress load, the workload is extreme. It's very much. So basically, so I went back there the next day. Now this is the fun part. On getting there, they asked me to wait. So the consultant was not around. So they took me. They called me up. Then the consultant was not asking the 2 residents, of course. Okay, what do you think is the problem? No, we didn't ask them directly that, what do you think is the problem? The man asked me that, oh, what's your name? I told him my name. He said, am I a student of the University of Ibadan? I said yes. He said, which course? I said physiotherapy. The man was like, oh. The man was like, Arawanoni. What that means is it's part of us. Because there is thing in medical field, you have the way they actually tutor medical students. And it's almost the same way that they tutor physiotherapists, nurses, medical laboratory scientists, and all. So it was like, it's part of us. So normally, as me, I was not part of them. As me, I was not a student, or like a student, a medical student. They would have probably just gone into a room and then they would discuss, oh, what do you think is the problem? So they were not saying it in front of me that, okay, the man asking, what do you think is the problem? They were like, is since meningitis, all these tools, all these things, right in front of me. At that point, I was already scared. But this thing in front of me was very scared. I was like, so this thing can be any of these things like this. I was very scared. So the man said, no. As the man was saying, it can be this. The man was saying, no, it can't be this. If it is that, it will be this. So the man said, okay. Then one of them suggested something. So the man said, okay, what do you think we should do now? And I said, okay, they should do a scan and another one. So they gave me a pamphlet to actually do a scan. So he said I should do an orbital eye scan, orbital CT scan, orbital CT scan. So personally for me then there was no money on ground. So they said, so I asked around, and I said the scan alone was like 45,000 naira. So as they were saying, initially as they were saying that thing right in front of me, I was really scared. I was very scared. So I called my mom. I was like, oh ma, they said I should do scan, no counting. So my mom asked me to come back home. So that's it. I will end that story there. But I asked them to come back home, and then the rest became a story when I went back home. Thanks to God. So basically, that's basically my experience as a patient in the university college hospital. Yeah, so that's that on my visit to university college hospital as a patient. If you enjoyed this video, kindly hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. I personally welcome you to the channel. Kindly hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell to get updates on any videos that pops up that I drop. And I'll be releasing a video soon about how I personally study and prepare for exams. Basically, see you guys in the next video. So.